What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Of course, it's your boy Eileo. If you guys want an account review done, of course, you got to hit me up in Discord. I can either send you a link by leaving a comment on the video or just check out the video's description. But today we have Tornious, aka Tornious, from Discord. I will be reviewing her account and just seeing what she has going on and what she should work on. So let's go ahead and check out this mon box. And shout out to Tornious for allowing me to use her account. But let me go into storage first, make sure you have nothing crazy in there. You just have maybe like a little slime army that you were working on, some nat 2s, variant nat 2s, nothing too crazy. Storage isn't really that big either. Not a big deal if you don't have the mons to put in there, so no worries there. But let's go ahead and check out the mons. I'll start from the top this time. So your Fire Miho, you got her on a HP flat gem, attack, and resist. You definitely need to change this whole entire setup if you're going to continue to use her. She's not the best kind of like Titans mon. I mean, you can use her in clan versus clan as well. Is she the best? No, but if that's all that you have at the moment, that's perfectly fine. But obviously change the HP gem to a % one as soon as possible, and then I would take this attack and resist gem off of her and build her HP defense or HP defense because she benefits not at all from having attack, and never ever in anyone's MSL career should you use a resist gem. Never ever, unless there was like a resist aggressor, which I don't know how that will work out. Next up, you have your Fire Arthur here. He is on a Valor set, HP defense attack, so you have him more on a bruiser build. Definitely not too shabby. I mean, could it be better? Of course. And you do have him at Evo 2. I might just switch him out and I don't know, maybe give him another attack gem. I kind of like to make my DPS as much DPS as possible, but is that a game changer? No, not necessarily. I mean, so if you don't want to change that, then just get some better gems for him. I mean, that 4-star gem isn't really doing him justice. This is okay, but it seems like you're very, very low on gems, but we can fix that. Then you got a Fire Indra over here. You got defense, attack, crit rate. He doesn't really need crit rate. You might just be better off switching that crit rate gem out and giving him attack. And of course, go ahead and drop that defense gem and do HP attack. Or you could just do defense attack HP. But the crit gem needs to go because if he's not near max crit, then there's no point in you having it, since it doesn't benefit him at all, especially him being an RGB mon. There's no benefit. His skills don't require crit, so you don't really need that. You got Fire Artemis over here as well. You do have her at Evo 2. HP, defense, attack. Again, I would just take the attack gem off. She doesn't need it. She does not need it. She's a tank type. She's just there to be annoying, so make her tanky as possible. Switch that with either another HP gem or a defense gem, and obviously aim for high resist if you're going to build her. If you're not going to build her because you're going to feed it to your wood one, that's understandable as well. Fire Cupid, not sure if you're going to be big into Titans, but HP recovery, I mean, that's fine. The only problem with so much HP is he needs to be healing constantly to bring that HP back, because if he can't bring it back, he's going to end up dying because he can't heal enough. But if he's paired with another healer, you should be alright. But I don't know if you're going to be doing Titans or not, so if you are, maybe switch one of those gems out with defense and just let them have at it. But again, if you're doing Titans, do that. If you're not at the moment, don't worry too much about it. But even if you're not doing Titans, you probably will need him in B9, and you'll probably need him in the later stage of Dragons as well. So I would definitely recommend that, and get him to Evo 3 when you can and level 60, and he should be a stable part of your team. Fire Hades, not very useful unless you're running full curse mons. But again, is Curse more useful than Sap? Of course not. So I would just hold off on him and feed him to another one that you get, because other than get him to Evo 2 for Astro Gems, he doesn't really have a use. Then you have a Fire Persephone. I was going to say she's variant, but you just have a costume on her. That is a good looking costume. I did not even know that, man. That is a good looking costume. But you do have her at Evo 2. Definitely get her level 60 as soon as possible. And I would give her HP attack. And you can bring her into your B9 team, or her better use would be Golems B10. So you do have a dedicated sapper for Golems B10, which is great. Then you have Fire Nightmare over here. Not sure if you have any plans for her, but I would feed it into the wood or the water one. So I wouldn't really recommend building this one. Defense down is great and thirst is okay, but Water Nightmare is just so much more annoying than the fire one. And I mean, somebody out there might be running like a super duper OP fire one, but I have yet to seen it. Fire Wendigo, Predator, and HP Siphon. So he has some self-sustain, and you have him on a life set with, wait, is that double defense? Double defense and attack. Since he's an attacker, I would take full advantage of Predator. If you're going to use him, I would take full advantage of Predator, get him off that double defense, give him another attack gem, and throw a HP gem up there. If you want to keep him on Gem of Life, again, this could be on broken sets. Everything that I have said and listed off, all could be on broken sets. So you don't have to have a complete set. I mean, it's aesthetically pleasing, but if your mind suffers from it just for you to compromise and have a pretty looking set, it's not worth it. That orange just isn't worth the squeeze. So I would change that if you're going to use him. If you've given up on him and have no plans for him in the future, then I mean, just keep him if you want, but I just let him go. I would just let him go. Then it looks like you're working on a Fire Syrah over here at some point in time. You have a recovery, resist, and defense gem on him. I'm not going to say that you were trying to build him. You were just trying to make some aesthetic slots. You're just trying to fill in slots, I guess, just to get rid of those gems. Definitely take all of these gems off, and since he has morale boost and adrenaline, HP attack, HP attack defense, probably HP attack though, since he does have that HP siphon on his 5-star skill, he should be able to get that off fairly well enough to heal the whole entire squad. So just take these gems off. I'd rather have my mon with no gems than just some random gems on it, at least for an account review. So yeah, just take them off. If you have plans for Syrah, that is great, but change it to those and get those up when you can. Then we have Fire Yuki over here. You might have been building her as well, but it looks like, again, you're just filling in your gem slots. If you're going to invest in her, I would say HP attack or HP attack defense, probably, because her main selling point is her debuffing. I mean, you could even run HP defense on her just to keep her alive so she can debuff in Titans, but we're not at Titans yet, so I would say hold off on Yuki, and I'm not sure if you're going to do Titans or not, so you can still build Yuki, but worry about her later. If you have any questions about her, feel free to hit me up, Tornious, and we can, get you the help you need, but I would just hold off. And these are just some other mons you got here, not really worth mentioning, so we'll go ahead and move on to the water ones. Alright, so next up we have your Water Mona. Cool costume on her, definitely very, very cool. I do like the effect on her shield, at least from this angle. I like the effect that it's making. But let's see what your Mona has on her. Attack, triple attack, that's fine. I mean, she doesn't really need anything else if you're going to be running her in Golems B8. And it looks like you've been investing at least partially into her skill books. Perfectly fine. I have no problems with this, and she is level 60. Then you have a Wet Miho, which you have attack, defense, attack on her. Again, I would take the defense gem off of her and just give her HP. I mean, her main job is to sap, so you could get a little bit more DPS out of her with the double attack on her, but I feel like HP is just more useful versus raw defense because her HP pool isn't super duper big anyways. So something to keep in mind. If you're going to use her for Golems B10, I would definitely get her fully booked up and get her gems up there. You know, by up there I mean 5 to 6 star, at least plus 12 minimum. But you do have Fire Purse, but we'll go ahead and pick out teams after we're done with this. Then you have 2 Water Nightmares, so looks like you might have enough to Evo 3 one of your Nightmares. In my opinion, I would choose Water or Wood. Wood can be very, very annoying as well, but with Draka especially, it might be a little bit better for you to Evo 3 the Water one. Again, this is your decision. I don't know what plans you have for these mons, so just take that with a grain of salt. But if you are going to invest inside your Water Nightmare, aim for what she has, Adrenaline. You could aim for double HP and defense gem, or if you're feeling really, really lucky, you could do like triple HP on a protection set with some high AF resist, or you could do it on an HP set with some high AF resist. Again, that's more like IQ level 1000 stuff. Not saying that you're, you know, not smart, but that's some like past Eileo stuff. That's like some Jamin stuff right there, so do keep that in mind. Water Shiva, not sure if you have plans for Water Shiva either, which is pretty much the new PvP meta. Just hold on to him for now. I couldn't really recommend PvP to you at the moment either with your mom box. Then you have a Wet Barona, so if you were interested in Titans, you do have a good starting off Sea Striker. So definitely build her HP attack if you're interested in Titans, but you can just tell me that after the review. And once you've made some more progress, Water Arthur, and it looks like you picked Light Arthur for your contract, so I'm assuming that you're just going to feed him, which is fine, perfectly fine. Then you got Slime Knight over here. Again, his main selling point is being a debuffer, even though, you know, there's better mods for this, but it looks like you were working on gems for him, and you gave him an attack gem. If you are going to invest in him, switch him over to HP defense or HP defense, and aim for some high resist because his main selling point is his defense down. His elemental edge might do damage, but is it going to be enough to make him viable in terms of DPS? No. And he just already has a debuffer type, you know, type skill set, so you might as well take full control of that. And then your Water Siren, you shouldn't really need her. I mean, you can use her in Titans in the beginning or late game if you wanted to, but you shouldn't really need her at this point. So if you were going to build her, it will be HP recovery defense in my opinion, and of course book her up, but it looks like you might not have touched her, so no big iffy there. Katyn is another Titans mon. Again, follow suit. Skill book it up when you can. I would do HP recovery defense once again. Then it looks like you have a Water Sura that you might have started working on, or he's just variant and he's chilling here. But if you're going to use him as like a water stunner, then make sure he's on max crit. The easiest way to do this is an intuition set. Crit rate HP defense, crit rate HP attack, however you want to build him, because he is pretty tanky. Is his damage really that great? No, but his stun is. His stun is wonderful. And then you got a Water Suck over here. Not sure if you're investing into her either, but if you are, again, I would say hold off on this one and get another one. Pull another one, hopefully with a square, and invest in that one if you are going to build her, because she does need crit for her morale boost to work, which is great because it ties right into her attack down. So Work on another water succubus with a square slot and probably just put her in intuition set. It could be crit rate, HP defense, crit rate, HP, whatever, you know, just something like that. And of course, aim for high resist. She's more of a, I would say, PvP mon, not really Titans mon, more of a PvP mon, because she has to have that startup for her morale boost to get up there for attack down to activate. So let's move on. It's a lot of water mons you got. So you have a wood anew, which is great, and he does have a square slot. Looks like you are working on him. He should be near max crit if you can get that gem up some more. And that one does have crit rate on it too. So running him, especially with his crit lead, should help you out tremendously. Great mon. Great mon. He hits hard. You do have him at Evo 3 and Super Evo. Great mon. Definitely not bad at all. This kind of build is more what I like to see. Then you have a Wood Miho on a Valor set. Crit rate, attack. Again, never build your mons with double crit rate. Never, ever, especially on a Valor set. I mean, not on any set, not even on a broken set. But if you can't hit max crit with one square slot gem of crit rate, then you're just not going to hit it. You're missing out on so much DPS. You're missing out on so much survivability by compromising with crit rate, and the crit rate isn't even maxed. So she doesn't even need crit rate for her moves to do anything. So definitely change that. Since you do have her at Evo 3 level 60, I would just do HP attack and call it a day. You could still keep her on Valor, but this setup is not good. Not good at all. Then you do have a variant Wood Odin, which is pretty darn snazzy. Attack HP. Her gems are fine. Definitely improve on that one gem when you get a chance, because that's holding her back a little bit. I mean, the difference between 5 and 6 star isn't that big, but the difference between a 6 star versus a 4 star gem is pretty big. So definitely get her up some more when you can. I'm not sure if you're going to invest in her or not, but you do have her decently gemmed up, so you might be using her at least at the moment, and it looks like that might be the only Odin that you have. So if you're going to do that, again, I would do HP attack, get rid of this gem when you can, because it's just holding her back, and she should be okay for now. And of course, get her to level 60. Then you have a Wood Jean, John, Jacob, whatever. She does have a square slot, in my opinion. You need to put her on Intuition or Ruin as soon as possible. You have attack, crit damage, and defense. Not really sure what's going on here. But with Stalker, her base crit rate is just 40%. So there's really no reason why you couldn't run her on Ruin with crit rate, attack, in my opinion. And she should be fully capped out or near being capped out. As long as you get like a crit rate sub on her attack gem, she should be good to go. But again, this is if you're investing into her. If you're not investing into her, then pay me no mind. Then Wood Kana, which is triple square master race. Grats on that. Another Titans mon. She does need max crit for her courageous strike to work. So again, like Eileo says, if a mon doesn't have max crit, you're wasting your time. If their skills require crit, you're wasting your time. I mean, max crit is hard, but at least minimally speaking, at least 85%. At least 85%. That way you can have maybe like a crit lead to help offset the other 15%, but at least 85% for a mon that is reliant on crit. And you have crit rate, attack, defense up there. You might be better off with crit rate, attack, HP instead. And of course, she's a Titans mon, so I would throw her on Intuition. That might be the easiest way for you to get max crit rate on her. But again, we'll worry about her later if you're going to get in the Titans or not. Then Wood Artemis, if you are going to build her, I would take that attack I would take that defense gem. I would take this gem off of her and give her another attack gem because she has self-sustain on both of her moves. So there's really no point of you running a defense gem, especially in a PvE situation, because she shouldn't be dying anyways. So HP attack, and just take full advantage of her ability to heal herself. She's very, very similar to Wood Valk and very, very similar to Fire Wild Fang. So take advantage of her HP siphon and ability to heal herself and just maximize the damage that you can get from her. Fire Draka, hopefully you can get another one. Maybe get a, I mean, not a Fire Draka, but you have a Wood Draka. Hopefully you can get a Fire Draka, because I would just feed him. I mean, I think he has like the highest HP in the game as an HP aggressor, but I would just feed him. And then you have a Wood Valk. Again, her and Wood Artemis are, I wouldn't say the same, but they're pretty similar to each other. So it was really dependent on you and who you want to build. This is definitely more of a PvP mon, in my opinion. Yes, you can use her in Golems and in Dragons, and she won't die. But if you have stronger mons that can clear the content out faster, that's something to keep in mind. But if that's all you have, that's all you have, and she does an okay job at it. So if you are going to invest in her, either build her more defensively, like HP defense, or probably HP defense. And then, because of her adrenaline, and then more offensively, HP attack. In my opinion, it's more beneficial just for her to be a defense-based mon instead of a attack-based mon, because her attack is there, but unless she's like max crit on like Ruin, it's not as much as I personally would like it to be. Then again, we went over Wood Nightmare before. If you're going to invest in her, HP defense, because of her adrenaline. Aim for some resist subs. You could put her on Pugilist in the future. There's no wrong way to build her after you've gotten her main stat focus, so do keep that in mind. Wood Leo, it's like you have some resist on him. Crit rate, HP, crit damage. I'm not sure what you're trying to do here. His resist is actually not too bad, but I don't understand why he has crit rate. I don't understand why he has any of these gems up here. If you're going to invest in him, he needs to be HP defense, or HP defense with high resist. But these gems aren't doing him any justice. They're not doing anyone any justice. He's not made for damage at all. He is made to debuff, and that's it, and just be annoying. But yeah, not really sure what you got going on here. Your Wood Incubus, he's only Evo 2, so not worth the investment, and plus he needs a square slot for his Hunter and his morale boost for that max crit. I mean, you can get him with max crit on Intuition with some godly crit subs on all three of your gems, but is he worth the investment for you at this point in time? No. Wood Sura, I would just feed him. Steel for 70% chance, and Sap for 80% chance for 2 turns. No, just feed him. Wood Mona, not really worth talking about. All the rest of these are just nat 2s, really. Again, nothing worth talking about. Let's go over here and check out your light mons, though. Light Snowy, not really useful. You could use her, it, whatever in Clan versus Clan. Not the best mon in the world, but you do seem to have it built quite decently. HP attack defense on a bruiser build. Yeah, on a bruiser build, so that's fine. Snowy isn't very tanky at all, so she or it could use some more defense in my opinion, and you do have the Valor set to kind of offset the lack of another attack gem, so that's okay. Then you have a Light Verde, again another PvP mon with crit damage, crit rate, and defense. Again, not sure what you're going for with this. She does need HP because of her adrenaline. So I would say HP defense once again with high resist. The sets, as always, are up to you guys. I'm not going to, you know, cookie cutter everything. You got to give some thought to it other than me, you know, holding your hand out for everything. But HP defense, if you're going to use her in PvP, which you do have her at Evo 3 and level 60, so I'm assuming that you are. Decent defense mon, in my opinion. Decent defense mon, but how she's built currently, they're going to wipe the floor of her. You do have one of the gods, the Light Radius, attack, crit damage, HP. Looks like you're just giving him gems just to fill his slots up, which is unfortunate. You could definitely bring him in your B10 squad, but he will need to be on Siphon, and you will need to run him with a full light team. So that could potentially be a problem. I'm not really sure if I can recommend running him by himself, but we'll just have to see. Light Kokomaru, HP aggressor, HP attack, crit damage. Tornious with HP aggressors, well, with any mons, just make sure you check out their skills and just read what their skills say, because here it says attack power becomes proportional to own max HP. So all of his stats scale from his HP. They don't scale from attack. They don't scale from crit damage. They don't scale from defense. So if it's an HP or defense aggressor, I would say build them. All three of their main gems should be whatever they require. Like, it's that simple. It's that simple. You giving him attack gem does nothing for him because his stats don't pull from that. You know, maybe just slap some gems on him. But again, I'd rather just have no gems on my mon versus just slapping some random gems on him. So if you are going to use him, triple HP. He doesn't really need crit. It doesn't really matter too much. I mean, obviously aim for some resist subs and crit subs if possible, but him not having crit isn't like a game breaker. So do keep that in mind. Light Yeti, another kind of PvP mon, which isn't too bad. Defense, HP, defense. Her gem set's fine. If you're going to use her, obviously get her to 60 when you can and get her booked up and throw her on maybe your clan versus clan defense or your PvP defense team. But I don't think I would recommend her for the PvP defense team because she's probably going to get wrecked. Light Misha, Shock, and Battle Rush might be slightly more usable than your Yeti, in my opinion. Again, you're just slapping gems on your mons. Be sure just to read the skills off of them and check out my videos for all these mon reviews to see how you should gem them and how useful they are. If you're going to invest in her, do crit rate. Crit rate, HP defense, in my opinion. That might be the safest build for this one. It might be more viable, in my opinion, than Light Yeti, because Light Yeti does have morale boosts, but Battle Rush that only has 10% less SP restoration, but also heals HP, is just far better. So this Light Misha is like a better version of Yeti. And then you have a Light Victoria, not a Light Nike yet, and you're almost level 50. You have a recovery gem on her, crit rate, and nothing. Again, make sure you read her skills out. She needs triple defense gems. It doesn't matter what gem set you have on her right now, but she needs triple defense gems with 6 stars as soon as possible. No flats. None of these mons should have flats on them. So she needs 6-star gems % of defense as soon as possible. Get her defense as high as you can and aim for some resist subs. Crit rate subs do help, but aim for resist first. And your main issue right here is you need to get her to Evo 3 as soon as possible. Because it looks like you're almost level 45, I believe. So you should be hitting B10. You should already been doing B10 or hitting it very, very soon. Light Pixie, she's only Evo 2. Wouldn't really worry about her too much. Recovery recovery, and defense. Give her an HP gem instead if you are going to use her. Triple Square Master Race, Light Sea Star. Again, more of a defense like clan versus clan mon. If you're going to use her, intuition set, crit rate, HP defense, aim for high resist subs right now. Or you could do ruin if you could get the proper gems for her to have that max crit rate, but intuition right now might just be the easiest for you if you're going to use her. If you're not going to use her, of course disregard this statement. Dark Misha, very fun mon to use. This one doesn't have a square slot though, so not really worth the investment at this point. Because I would just run this baby on ruin and crit rate, attack, and just YOLO. But it doesn't have to have a square slot for it to still perform well. Just switch it over to intuition and do HP, attack, or attack, defense like you have right now. But just on intuition, just to bump that crit rate up, so if it does crit, you can get more damage out of it if you're going to be using it. And of course, get its skill booked up as soon as possible, because that is actually where its damage comes from. And you have Dark Kiki over here with crit rate, and attack. Again, you gotta stop with this double crit rate gem stuff. It's not benefiting you at all. She doesn't need crit, but I understand that you're trying to build a dark type attacker with crit to maximize her damage. While you're trying to maximize her crit, you are compromising her damage by a ton. So take one of those crit rate gems off and give her another attack gem. Obviously, more crit rate would be more beneficial because she's a dark type, but does she need it at this point in time for you? No, she does not need it at this point in time. Once we get you with a good Golems team set up, you can build her with more crit rate. But for now, I would just aim for pure subs, not pure subs, but pure gems that mons need. Pure percentage gems that mons need first. You can always come back later and get better subs on those gems, but right now that is the biggest priority. Alright, moving on, we have your Dark Fib over here. Recovery, defense, crit rate. Again, not sure what is going on here. Since he is Evo 3 level 60, I'm assuming you're investing in him. You can build him a couple different ways. Crit rate, attack, HP is a great way if you're not really sure what you want to do with him. But excuse me. But again, it looks like you're just trying to fill gem slots just to fill them up without any, I guess, regard for what the mon skills have. So definitely check out my videos for all of these mons just to get a better understanding of them and how they should be gemmed. But if you are going to use him, again, I would recommend crit rate, attack, HP in my opinion. At least for where you're at right now. He's a very great mon to use in my opinion, especially with what you have. Definitely get him skill booked up as well. You can use him in PvP. You can use him in Tower of Chaos if you need to. And of course you can use him in Dragons, which is where I use mine at. So definitely worth the investment. And then you have your Dark Flora over here. You could bring her into Golems B10 instead of not Dark Miho, but Wet Miho, because she should have higher stats than Wet Miho, even though Wet Miho has books and her sap might be slightly inferior. She doesn't really need crit rate anyway, so it's not like the end of the world. So you could just do HP, attack, defense on her, because I don't know how squishy she is. You might be able to get away with HP, attack, but HP, attack, defense, I would try that out, see if she survives. If she does, do HP, attack instead. But that's pretty much it for her. Dark Fennec, not sure if you're investing into her either, but attack, resist, you're just again throwing gem slots on her. Not trying to be mean, just trying to awaken you to what's going on here. And she needs crit for her battle rush to activate if you are going to use her. So good gem set. I mean, intuition is what she's going to need if you can't hit that max crit on ruin, but she's a tank type anyway, so her DPS isn't going to be anything amazing. But intuition set is fine, but if you are going to use her, crit rate, HP, defense should serve you quite well. Again, aim for high resist and just use her as a defense mon for maybe a PvP or clan versus clan team, and that's pretty much it. Then you have Dark Miho over here with HP, crit damage, and defense. Again, you might just be throwing gem slots up here. You're not really understanding what's going on with the mons. Once again, make sure you check out the skills. She is an HP aggressor, so she needs triple HP. Triple HP as high as you can get your gems. Add in some crit rate subs if possible and some resist subs if possible, but you're not at the point in time where you need to be worrying about subs. Worry about raw gems that your mons need. Again, I'm saying this again, but focus on that. So triple HP for her. And then you have Dark Monkey, defense aggressor with defense down. Very interesting build on him. Defense, HP. No, just no. Take both of these off. If you want him to have more HP, throw him on an HP life set or whatever for the 20% HP gain. But he needs to be triple defense. If you're going to use her, use him, not use her. And if you are going to use him, get him skill booked up as soon as possible so that defense down lasts for 3 turns and not just 2. In terms of uses, very, very odd mon, I guess. I mean, he does have the ability to debuff a PvP team or debuff someone in clan versus clan if he can get his 5-star off while still remaining fairly tanky, but we're just not there yet in terms of uses. He has potential, but I can't really recommend you focusing on him at the moment. Yeah, I can't. Maybe we'll come back to your account one day and check to see what you have going on then. Dark Sleepy needs a square slot, but he does have a square slot. If you're going to invest in him, crit rate, attack, or crit rate, attack, HP. Probably crit rate, attack to take full advantage of that hunter. But I have heard that he's not really that good, unfortunately. So it's up to you if you want to invest in him or not. Again, more of a PvP mon, not really PvE. You're working on a Dark Lucy, which is great. Crit rate, HP, crit rate. Again, I've said this before. I would do crit rate, attack, or crit rate, attack, HP. Not double crit rate and HP gem. It's just not doing anyone any justice at all. But Dark Lucy is good. You can use her in Colossus. You can use her in PvP. If you don't have any other mods that hit hard, you can use her in PvE. You can use her in quite a bit of areas in the game, especially in Tower of Chaos. But yeah, you need to change that as soon as possible. And then your Dark Rudolph over here, looks like you're just throwing gems on her again. If you are going to invest in her, she is a Titans mon, and she doesn't have a crit gem, so I would just not invest in her, in my opinion. She doesn't have a square slot. I would just not invest in her right now. Don't even worry about building her. Again, she's Titans. You can get max crit on her. It's going to take more work because she doesn't have a square slot. It's not your fault, but at this point in time, we're not even going to worry about it. We're just not. Looks like you might have been working on a Dark Bulby as well, which exposed weakness could help you out very, very well, especially in Colossus. But we're not there yet. But Bulbies are easy enough to build, so not build but pull. So definitely work on this one in the future. She doesn't need crit rate. You could give her crit rate for some damage, and this one doesn't have a square slot. But if this is all that you have, that's all that you have. So if you are going to invest in her, I would say HP, attack at this point in time. On an intuition set, get her booked up, and with exposed weakness, you can use her in clan versus clan and probably Colossus. Not so much PvP. Then you have Gatito over here. Crit rate, defense, attack. Take that defense gem off of him. Do crit rate, attack. Just go in. It doesn't matter if he's on broken set. Ruin would be the best for him with max crit rate or near max. But it depends if you can get him to Evo 3 or not. If you have any Gatito Soul Stones laying around, he might be worth gleaming to get to Evo 3. because you are going to need a Dark Nuker with the mons that you have. But if you can't, I'm sure he'll be back around at some point in time. So don't worry too much right now on him. You could still use him at Evo 2. He is going to lack a little bit of damage, but he is still salvageable. So do keep that in mind. Do keep that in mind. And that looks like that's it for your mon box. But let's go over. Hold on, let me see something real quick. So you are doing Arthur. You're almost level 45, so you should be in Golems already. I was going to check something else for you. I can't remember. I can't remember. But once again, if you're using a mon and you feel like they're not doing their job, you feel like they're not doing damage like they should be doing, then you should probably take a look at the monster review videos. I do have a monster review playlist on the YouTube channel, so you can check out each mon that you need, and if I don't have it, you can just hit me up and I'll definitely get you a review or just tell you straight up what's going on with that mon. But let's check out your B8 team first. So it looks like you're running B7. So you're working with Miho, Jean, John, Kana. I don't think your Kana has anywhere near max crit, and she's a Sea Striker. She's not really going to do you any good here. None at all. You might be better off with your Wood Artemis instead. And you need to get your crit rate up on your Jean as well, because again, she's not doing you any justice. And I mean, that team in itself should be fine. You shouldn't need a healer. Get them up to level 60 as soon as possible and fix their gems, and your time should be under 2 minutes for farming B7. So that's pretty much it for your B7 team. Again, you could translate this over to dragons. The later dragon, I don't remember it specifically, but you could transfer this team over to the later dragon. You may require a healer. You may require running both Artemis and Wood Valk depending on your DPS. But will it be possible for you to do it? Of course. You just need the correct gems first, and your mon's at level 60. So do keep that in mind. For your B8 squad, which is what I would recommend you to be running right now as soon as possible, it would have to be Water Miho, and not Water Miho, Water Mona. Who else you got here? Is that your only water mon besides Wet Miho? That's your only... These are all your level 60s? You should have more 60s than this, Thor. You should have at least 4 of each element at level 60, because that right there tells me that you've been working on different golem teams. Cheese and rice. Definitely you could bring in your Dark Fib. I would probably pick up another Mona. You could bring in Miho. Is she going to do anything for you? Not really, but you can use her as a placeholder right now. I would definitely pick up another Miho though. And you could take in your Wet Balrona as well. And you could even take Wet Miho out, and I would take in, again, I would put in 2 Monas, run with Dark Fib, and run with your Wet Balrona as soon as possible. That is what I would do. That way you have invested in more than, you know, 1 of each element. And if you do pick up Titans in the future, you already have her built. If you continue to use your Dark Fib and somewhere in some other content, you already have him built. And 2 Wet Monas, your time should be a minute with this team at Evo 2 and everyone level 60 minimum and everyone booked up. Your time should be a minute. Maybe a minute and 5 seconds, maybe a minute and 10 seconds, but it should be under a minute and 30 seconds, no problem. But again, you don't have to follow this template. It's just a way for you to understand, you know, what I'm trying to aim for with your teams. For B9, you do have Fire Miho, but in my opinion, Fire Miho is not very useful. I would go ahead and bring in Dark Fib again. You could bring in your Arthur, Indra. Even though he has Elemental Edge, is kind of wasted here, but you don't really have that many other hard-hitting Fire Mons. So it's really dependent on whatever you choose. So this team right here should be able to get you through. They will all need to be Evo 2. They will all need to be level 60. And they will all need to have proper gems on them as well. You can feel free to take out your Dark Fib if he is not built correctly yet, and throw in Cupid if you find that your mons are dying throughout the run. But that should be it for your B9 team. Again, get all of these to level 60, get them gemmed up properly, check out the videos, ask me any questions that you need, and your time should be maybe a minute and a half, maybe a minute and 40. I don't know right off the top of my head, but this should give you access to B7, B8, and B9 for gems. So you're definitely not ready for B10 yet. You're definitely not there. I would say, depending on how much you play, you're going to need to farm for at least another 2 months minimum, because you need a lot better gems than what you have. Your mons need to be built properly, and you need to invest in a lot more level 60 mons. I'm not saying you need to have 50, 60 level 60 mons, but I'm saying that you should have at least 4 minimum of each element for each mon. Well, not each mon, but for each element. RGB, light and dark. So there's 5 different elements. 5 times 4. Congratulations. That's 20. You should have 20 mons right now that are level 60 that you use at least for golems, or that you use somewhere else in the game with farming. Having those mons built allows you to build flexible teams. So if you're getting stuck in Tower of Chaos like you are at the moment, that should help solve that problem, because you've invested in more than a couple mons. So sorry for that rant, but for your golems B10 team, once you get there, I would not bring Light Arthur. I would not bring him in there. You could run a full light team, but you don't have the gems for it right now. I would not bring him in there. You need to build your Light Victoria as soon as possible. As soon as possible. If it's taking you a while to build her, because you have to do her either through pulling Victorias or the fusion, which I'll show you at the very end, then since you do have Kokumaru, you could bring in Kokumaru instead right now and have him act as your Light Nike. But you probably will require a healer, which is okay. Again, you can bring in Dark Fib. And then you have Fire Persephone. She's going to be your sapper. And then we're looking for a good wave clearer for you. You could bring in a new as a wave clearer, but you're going to need the DPS to back that up. You could bring in Dark Kiki as a wave clearer. It might be kind of slow, but if that's all that you can manage right now, that's all that you can manage. You could definitely bring in Indra as well as a wave clearer. And then Dark Snow White would be a good wave clearer for you as well. But that's pretty much it in terms of your B10 team. You should be ready for B10, I would say, within 2 to 3 months if you're farming religiously. But this should work as your B10 team for now. Once you get your Light Nike build up, throw Light Nike in here instead of Kokumaru. If you require more heals than what Dark Fibian can sustain, don't bring in Light Snowy, because Light Snowy is going to die. Light Snowy is going to be rest in peace to the squad. You could bring in Cupid, because I don't think you don't have a water purse as a passive healer. You could bring in Cupid if you got to. You could bring in Water Siren. I would just do Cupid because of attack up. But this should be your Golems B10 team in the future. Again, all of these mons need to be Evo 2, Evo 3, as high as you can get them minimum, level 60, and gem properly. And by gem properly, I mean 6-star gems. It's okay to have a 5-star gem here and there, but they all need to be plus 12 minimum and plus 15 for the maximum benefit. But that pretty much is it for your Golems teams. I'm not sure if you're investing in Titans or PvP right now, but in order to excel in either one of those, you need the proper gems and you need the proper mon investment. And this should also solve part of your issue in Tower of Chaos as well. Because of the lack of mon investment, you're having a difficult time progressing through the game, especially in Tower of Chaos. So you're missing out on a Nat 5 every month because of the investment into Mons. For light, I mean not for light Odin, but for dark Odin, I would bring in a CC'er. Your Snowy's not going to do any work for you. So I would bring in maybe Arthur or your Water Sura. But does Artemis have stun? Does she have stun? Let's go look real quick. I mean, I'm here already. Let's go look. I got some rewards for you. She does have stun, 80% chance, but I think Arthur's more reliable. So Arthur or Water Sura, in my opinion. I mean, you could, if you need Fire Artemis, bring her in there, but you're gonna have to stun Dark Odin. There's no way around it. You might need to bring in 2 stunners instead of 1, but you're gonna have to stun her. Let's go back over here. You're gonna have to stun her. So you could bring in Fire Artemis and maybe someone else. If she's not being stunned, it can be quite difficult, but you're gonna have to stun her. You need a Mon that can do defense down because you're gonna have to nuke her as well. So we need someone that can do defense down, which I believe your Wood Miho could do defense down. You might be trying to use your Super New as a nuker. But I think, yeah, Wood Miho should come with defense down. And then you could probably run Super New as a nuker. You could bring in Dark Fib once again as a nuker. Or if you're feeling froggy, get one of these Sea Strikers and bring in another hard-hitting Mon as a nuker. You can actually bring in your Dark Monkey as a defense downer instead of Miho. But I think Miho's defense down is on her 3-star. So if that hits, you're going to be better off with that hitting. And you can also bring in your Dark Lucy as a nuker as well once you get her to Evo 3 and once you get her to level 60 and gemmed up properly. But that should help you clear out Tower of Chaos floor 80. You might run into trouble in floor 100 once again, but the tactic is fairly same. It's pretty much the same. Debuff him as soon as possible or stun him and just stun lock him to death until you can will his HP down. That's pretty much it. But with your current Mons, I can understand why you're kind of bottlenecking at this moment in time. But if you follow my advice, not even all of it, but some of it, you should progress quite well in the game. And I feel like your account will do pretty good in the future as long as you choose to at least take a mind to what I said and in terms of your investments. But right now, focus on getting your B8 team stable. Branch off to B7 and B9 and get some gems for your B10 Mons. And not only your B10 Mons, but your B7, B8, and B9 Mons, because we can transfer those all over to Dragons in the future. Get you some Siphon sets to help you start farming and, you know, have a wonderful time in the MSO world. But other than that, pray that you can get a Fire Draka if you're willing to sacrifice any Nat 5s. At the moment, I would recommend you not doing that. You're better off just pulling a Fire Siegfried, getting him to Evo 2, and getting him with even a Poor Man Siphon set, because a Poor Man Siphon set is a Siphon set irregardless of what stats it has on it. So that would be a good story farmer for you as well. But again, at the end of the day, this is all just advice. I definitely hope it helps. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But yeah, peace out. Thank you for allowing me to review your account. And as always, guys, if you want your account reviewed, hit me up on Discord. I do have a lot of them at the moment, but I will get to yours when I can. And I also need to go record some other videos other than account reviews. But peace out, you guys.